How highways ruin cities. When the United States started building the interstate highway system in the 1950s, everyone thought it would be the start of a new age. Highways would connect the entire country, make travel fast, open up new jobs, and bring opportunity to places that had never seen it before. And for a while, that's exactly what happened. But hidden underneath that success was a divide that nobody realized they were creating, a divide that still shapes the country today. When a highway passed through your town, it was basically like winning the lottery. Suddenly you had traffic, business, tourists, money, and attention. Gas stations popped up overnight. Motels filled every exit. Diners never closed. New factories came because they could ship products faster. A town that might have stayed small suddenly had a reason to grow, and a lot of them did. But the towns that got skipped over had a totally different future. If the interstate curved every 5 miles away, your main street emptied out, and people stopped driving through. Businesses that survived on travelers shut down. Families moved away because the jobs disappeared. Some towns shrank so fast that they practically turned into ghost towns. And it all depended on something as simple as where engineers drew a line on a map. In cities, the impact was even bigger. Highways didn't just pass by, they cut straight through the middle. Entire neighborhoods were torn down so a 6-lane road could run through the heart of downtown. And it wasn't random. Planners often targeted black neighborhoods, immigrant neighborhoods, and low-income areas because they thought they had the least political power to fight back. Families were displaced. Businesses were forced out. Streets that used to connect the city were blocked off by massive interchanges and overpasses. Even today, if you look at cities like Miami, Atlanta, Detroit, or New Orleans from above, you can see huge highways acting like walls separating one side of the city from another. Those divides didn't just stay physical, they became economic and social too. Highways also made it incredibly easy for people with money to leave the city and move to the suburbs. Suddenly you could live 20 miles away, buy a bigger house, and still drive to work in half an hour. So wealth streamed out of the city centers into newly built suburbs. Shopping malls replaced downtown stores. Schools in suburban districts grew while urban districts lost funding. Highways didn't just change where people lived. They changed who had opportunities. They shaped the wealth gap in the US more than most people realize. What's wild is how predictable this all became. Today you can pretty much guess a town's economic future by one thing. Does it have a highway exit? If it does, you'll see a chain of stores, warehouses, hotels, and new neighborhoods. If it doesn't, you'll probably see closed shops, older homes, and a steady population decline. This is sometimes called the exit ramp economy, where a single exit can decide whether a place grows or fades away. On top of that, highways help merge cities into giant mega regions. The Northeast Corridor from Boston to Washington, D.C. is basically one continuous metro area now. Some with Southern California, same with parts of Texas. Highways allowed cities to blend together, while smaller towns from interstates slowly drifted into isolations. Many rural counties today feel cut off, not because they're far away, but because they're far from the roads that matter. Now, decades later, a lot of cities realize how much damage those routes caused. Some are even trying to undo it. Boston buried its highway underground. Seattle covers part of theirs with parks. Dallas is planting green spaces over old freeway trenches. And more cities are talking about removing elevated highways completely and reconnecting the neighborhoods that were split apart. It's one of the biggest shifts in urban planning happening right now, and it's basically a giant attempt to heal the wounds left behind. But the interstate divide hasn't gone away. It still decides where businesses open, where people move, where money flows, and which places are left behind. A system built to connect America ended up creating invisible borders. Lines drawn in concrete and asphalt that separate communities, shape cities, and define opportunity. When you look at the United States today, you can still see the divide everywhere. In the towns that died because they never got an exit, in the neighborhoods sliced apart by interchanges, in the suburbs that exploded with growth, in the rural counties that feel forgotten, the interstate system didn't just build America, it redesigned it, creating winners and losers, all based on where the roads went. And that's the real story of the interstate divide, a network meant to unite the country that ended up changing it in ways nobody expected, leaving marks that will last for generations.